don't know if you can see any of this, but we're at First Landing State Park. We camped here last night, and I got up about 5:15. It was a little too dark to run, so stayed in my tent till about 6:15, and we're gonna take a quick trail run. These trails back here are awesome. This is a bike path, part of the Cape Henry Trail. Up here, it's mostly a dirt road. It's a campsite. We've had pavement the whole way. I think the pavement's getting ready to end at the parking lot that's up here. It's beautiful this morning, about 58 degrees. Just came out of there. Big parking lot and trail center there. This is on the trail side of the road. So there's a back bay over here. And across this road here, and we'll be on the Cape Henry Trail. Cape Henry. This is the Cape Henry Trail. Essentially, this is an old road. These beautiful swamps. Cypress. Went down there yesterday. That's a beautiful trail. Short little loop. Essentially, this is an old road through the swampy areas here. And we're going to take this for quite a ways. Just turned the camera off, and there's some really cool Spanish moss everywhere. You feel like you're in Louisiana or somewhere, not in Virginia. Okay, we're about maybe 3.5 miles in total, and 2.5 miles on this trail. And we're at the White Hill Lake Trail. So shouldn't be much further to that turn. About halfway to that turn maybe. And then we'll be heading back on the Osprey Trail right there. So I got a little bit of a road run, although I think we can cut over the road by that Lake Susan Constant. Alright. Okay, we're about 4.6 miles total. And that would be probably about 3.6 miles on the trail to get to here. So maybe 3.6 miles from here. Campsite's over here. So instead of doing all this, we're gonna run down the road and take this Osprey Trail back. Although it'd be cool to run that whole thing. We'll see. I think actually this is the border of the park, so that trail only goes to here. So we're gonna have to take this back. Osprey Trail, Long Creek Trail is what we're looking for. More cypress. Great bench. Beautiful lake with some houses on it. Be a pretty cool place to live. And that's right at 5 miles total. So we're probably 4 miles in on the trail since when we got on it Although we passed 4.5 mile marker back there. That's probably the entire Cape Henry Trail, which we started at a parking lot. So it probably started a little ways before where we started. We're looking for the Long Creek Trail. I guess this is Lake Susan Constant on the map. I decided to run back here to the road. On the map, it looks like the trail that we want is the Long Creek Trail. This may be our last opportunity to cut over to the road to get to it. I don't know if it's got a connection back there. It doesn't look like it on the map. So we're gonna run down the road a bit and hopefully find the entrance to this other trail. If it doesn't connect up, that's a shame. But I don't have a lot of time to take that risk this morning. Here it is. And there is no spur trail heading over to the Cape Henry Trail, so I guess that was a good call. It's a shame that it doesn't link up. But here we go. Thank you, Tidewater Striders. By the way, we're not even 5.5 miles, just about 5.5 miles here. But new entrance. But when we made that turn on the road, that was probably a little over 5 miles total. Bench up there. Must be a nice view. We're looking for the Osprey Trail to our left. Osprey Trail, which may flood at high tide. I don't know what happened to the other trail. Maybe they're removing it. At any rate, it's closed. Let's hope it's not high tide. By the way, too, it's almost about 6 miles total, which is probably 5 miles total from when we got on. So, this is the start of the Osprey Trail. Alright, we got a view. Awesome. I can see why it'd be closed at high tide. You wouldn't be able to get over here. Uh-oh. That's kind of washed out. Spanish moss is crazy. think the trail's up here. We're at 7 miles in total. These views are what it's all about right here. That looks like we gotta go up there. Alright, let's head up there. Alright, so we're back on the Long Creek. Wasn't even a 1/10 of a mile up there. Alright, that's the most hill climbing we've done. Just about burned me out. There's the trail we could see from down there. So that obviously used to be the entrance. That used to be the trail. Ooh, scared a bird. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Passed a lot of runners here. Oh, this is so cool. All right, back down this hill. It's all sand. So it's some kind of sand dune. No sign, but I assume this is the way. This is the way back. Gorgeous. Amazing. That's a quote from Early Riser. Amazing. Whoops, sorry. I'm probably panning too fast. Like Kiwi. Try to pan slower. Alright, back to run. Decisions. Let's look at the map. I think we go near White Hill Lake, so I think we go to the left. We're trying to hit that Kingfisher Trail and then all the way to that Long Creek Trail back up to the campsite, the road. This is for Winnie. She was 10. She loved these trails. We'll clean out this bowl for Winnie. Some sand in there. Maybe another dog can enjoy. Alright. Let's see what's this way. I think I saw an observation stand that I remember from a few years ago. So I think this is the way. Gorgeous. Amazing. It's great views on this trail. It's so cool. Yeah, there's the observation stand. Wow. Beautiful. Kingfisher Trail. That way. We got a mile and a half. And we'll be at the State Park Road, which is where we want to go. Get back to the campsite. We've already been gone way too long. It's about 7.8 miles total right now. I didn't mean to run this far. And with all the stopping, admiring the views, I've really slowed down. So it's been an hour and a half right now to go 7.9 miles, but it's worth it. Ah, beautiful. Spanish moss is crazy. You feel like you're in another state. Or creek here. Great houses along here. Alright, so I think I'm going to stay on the Long Creek Trail because that's the shortest distance back, even though the road is only 0.3 miles in that direction. I've got to walk further down the road or run further down the road. Very annoying car alarm or alien spacecraft. Very loud frogs. Alright, they don't want us to go that way. Copy? Alright. Here we are through the Kissing Gate. And back at the road. I shouldn't be far now to the campsite. We're at almost 9.5 miles total on the run. So that was about 8.5 miles since we got on the Cape Henry Trail. No time at all. We're back to the gate up. Morning. This little trail just bypasses the road. So we're back on the Cape Henry Trail. That's the Cape Henry Trail. It's paved at that point. Thanks, see ya. Alright, and we're back to the campsite. Right now we're just at 10 miles, 9.9. Be at 10 by the time we get to the campsite. We're at 10 miles. If you get up to First Landing Park, I highly recommend those trails, especially that Osprey trail. It's awesome. Alright. We're back at camp. 10 miles. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.